Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now, today's episode, I want to talk to you about, the logic of working your way through credit card offers and bank promotions. Because, the credit card companies, the banks, they're trying to, employ all their marketing material, the happy people, the design of the card, this, that, and the other, to sway us one way or the other. So I'm going to talk to you about my experience getting the American Express Business Gold for 150K MR points and why I was less than thrilled to do it, but did it anyway. So, of course, if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, a quick housekeeping note. I'm using the American Express Business Gold example and offer here, but again, if you're watching this in the future, these offers are likely long gone, but the core of this video is still relevant. At least, I assume it's still relevant depending on how far in the future you're watching. So with that said, we'll set this one up. I did recently apply for the and get approved for the American Express Business Gold 150,000 MR points for $10,000 in spend in 3 months, and I was less than thrilled, which is, I know it's silly, right? If you don't know me, then I don't love American Express products. I do use them. I have a legitimate business checking account and a legitimate Blue Business Cash I do use for business expenses, but I use those, really quick here because, again, one is no annual fee, and two, because of the American Express rules, it doesn't, and I don't lose the ability to churn a bank account or a credit card because it's only once per lifetime, and their business account does have no fees, which is actually pretty hard to find in a business checking account, believe it or not. So those products work for me. The rest of them, I don't really care for. So American Express likely saw me using the business cash card, and I put maybe $1,000, $1,200 and spend on it a month. I do run ads for the channel and for the blog, profitablecontent.com. So I say, hey, why don't we offer this guy the real cards we want to sell, the expensive ones? And now, number two here is that, again, at the time of taping, American Express is going to refresh the Business Gold. They're going to hike the annual fee. It's like $295 now. They're going to move it up to like $375, add in some more coupons, this, that, and the other. But the nice thing about American Express is they do these last call offers where they tell you they're going to raise the fee. They give you plenty of time. They gave us like 4 or 5 months warning, I think. And then they do these last call offers where it makes a lot of sense to get the card, you get an elevated offer, and you lock in the old annual fee for 1 year. Plus those credits that they're adding, the Walmart Plus and like the Office Supply or Grubhub one, you get access to those instantly as well. So all that to say, it's actually a perfect time to get the card. The standard offer was $70K. They mailed me a $100K offer, which I thought was interesting. Then someone in my channel membership Discord was like, no, 150K is the mark. And so sure enough, they started emailing me for 150K. So that is the setup to get to there. Now, put the credit card piece on pause for a second. When it comes to work in general and making money, my overall opinion has always been the work is the work, right? And what that means is some people have to love their job and it has to be doing good and this, that, and the other, and that's fine. For me, it's not the case. I don't want to hate what I do, and I don't. I work for banks. I like working for banks, but if I don't hate it, if the things that you don't love about your job, of course, but does it matter? Like, I've never really cared that my company shows diversity or shows that they care about the planet. That's a them thing, and I know this might be upsetting to some of you out there, but I don't care. Like, the work is the work. I'm here to do a decent job, preferably not get canned and get a check, right? So I do feel like a lot of people feel that way. Maybe you don't open up your next Teams call like that. I definitely wouldn't do that. But, the work is the work. So why not take such an objective approach and apply it to credit cards and bank accounts, because the work should be the work. You're just here for the money, right? And, again, you should be excited for the American Express Business Gold, but I actually wasn't, because personally, I hate that card. I don't think it's worth $295. I don't really feel like dealing with membership reward points. They don't allow me to cash them out. I like cash back. I hate the fact that they restricted it as 0.6 cents if you cash it out. I hate that they want a $300 annual fee for what? I don't even know. All the 4x multipliers on that I can find for free elsewhere. I just don't care for them, and American Express cards kind of annoy me. And as a side note, for anyone who thinks that because we have affiliate links, we have to say nice things about cards, oh well. I have plenty of Amex affiliate links if you're interested. Clearly not saying nice things, so point objectivity, or freedom of speech, I guess. Anyhow, the point is, I had to kind of force myself to apply for this gold card because I need to apply the mindset of that the work is the work. Does it really matter your personal feelings about the gold card? No one's saying you got to marry this card. You have to have it for years and years and years. It makes sense because, again, if you look at it, and this is going to, again, probably upset some of you Amex faithfuls out there, if I just value the points at 1 cent a point, I'm not going to cash them out. I know I can't do that. That's too much of a haircut. But if I just value them at 1 cent a point, easy math, $1,500, subtract the $300 annual fee, you're looking at $1,200 objectively. Now, again, the value can be much higher depending on what you want to do with them. Realistically, I'm probably going to send them to Delta, which is like 1.2 cents a point. I don't care about maximum value. I just don't want to pay cash, and my Delta account is down to like 20,000 Sky Miles. That's who I fly, whatever. It's fine, right? So when you look at it like that objectively and just apply the work is the work piece to it, then I think it kind of helps us focus on what's really important, maximizing value, again, excluding the redemption option I just gave you, maximizing value from the card offers. Because again, if you look at it, the gold card, you're never going to be able to get this offer again. It's going up like $90, $80, $90, something like that. So, that the fee's going to increase. They're probably not going to, the 150 may last a little bit longer once it increases. Who's to say, really? But again, you're going to be paying even more of a 90 annual fee, so you might as well lock it in now. So these are just the steps I go through in my head to make myself calm down, just objectively take the offer. And for you out there, it might not be American Express. You might love American Express. I hear this a lot with Chase category cards or any category card. I have 4 Freedom cards. I'd get more if I wasn't over 524. Some people hate the category cards, right? But at the time, Chase was offering 5x gas and groceries on the first $12,000 in spend plus $200 back when you spend $500 on the card. So you could max that out for $800 on a Freedom Flex. You don't have to use the Freedom Flex ever again. You don't even have to use the categories, but it's still 2 5x categories to 12 grand in spend. So, we kind of set that emotional part aside and just, the work is the work. Get the money, move on to the next card. Objectively, it does work the opposite way as well because, every time we look at a bank promotion on the other channel run on the bank, they always have these happy people, right? Everyone's so excited to open up a bank, or even, again, sticking with American Express. There's a reason their cards are made. They're the solid metal cards of, I'm not saying they're made of like stainless steel, like X1 or something, but compared to like the Sapphire Preferred and Reserve, those are flimsy metal cards, even though Wells Fargo Autograph's like a flimsier metal, if you will. But the Amex cards, the gold and platinum, they're like solid cards, have some heft to them. You drop them there. There's a reason that they do all this, and they try to influence people with the marketing to keep the cards and to use the cards long after it doesn't make sense. And that's when you just play the other side of the emotional piece in year number 2 and say, hey, no, I did my work, I got my value, now I'm going to cancel it. So I do think it is somewhat of a cliched but double-edged sword when it comes to objectivity and making the work be the work when it comes to cards, right? Because of that. On the front end, you could not like the card, and then on the back end, you can think you like it too much because of the marketing and the lifestyle image that they try to communicate to you, And so if you apply it, across the board, you're going to, do far better. Because when Chase has these crazy high offers we've talked about, I go crazy for those. Ink cards, $900, sign me up. I've had all of the ink cards. I've done doubles of them. But eventually, it also doesn't make sense to skip this gold card one because you're going to run out of bonuses eventually. Eventually it does slow down. There's only like 4 or 5 major players in the game, so you might as well lock this one in now. And I think, to close here, I do think, that also extends to, bank promotions. And one of the biggest questions I get is how do you get people started? And it's always hard to convince people to get started that it's worth it. But again, if we go back to the premise of the work is the work, going to work is much harder, as we said, than opening these products, right? To go to work, you have to get up, go somewhere, do something, be accountable for something. To open a bank account, to open a credit card, you just have to spend 5 minutes doing it, and maybe if you wanted to say 10 minutes combined completing the tasks. So if we all just kind of objectively looked at whatever financial mechanism can make us money as the work is the work, I don't need to love it. I mean, so long as you don't absolutely positively hate it, like me and potentially working outside, then the objectivity should win out. The work should be the work. It's totally logical to go through all of these and make all the money that you can. Then on the back end, just get rid of them if you don't like them and, dodge the marketing push they've tried to give you to make you keep these cards. So all that to say, I mean, it's entirely possible I just made this whole 10-12 minute video just for myself to talk myself into getting the card, but it was really surprising to me how much I did not want to get this card even at 150k. That 150k sat in my email box probably for like 2 or 3 weeks before I finally did it and just kind of had to suck it up and do it. Still not thrilled about it. Again, we don't need to rehash it, but for all the reasons I listed, I just don't really prefer to deal with these type of American Express cards. But again, even at one cent a point, it's still $1,200. Can make more of it sending it to Delta or sending it elsewhere. I'm sure maybe you can drop down below where I should actually send these points or how I should actually redeem them. I would take offers. I would take advice on that if you wanted to. I mean, I'll probably just do the thing I was going to do originally. And as far as color, the last thing here, I also did not realize the color of the gold card you pick is very important. I put up a survey and classic gold won out by like a 2/3 vote, give or take. So I did go with the classic gold. It's in the mail now. The time of taping might be here by the time you're watching it. So I did do it. When I'll say this, there probably won't be a keep or cancel business gold card video in a year's time. I'll make it a YouTube short and it'll be like 2 seconds. It'll just be me saying I canceled it. End of discussion. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on objectivity and kind of forcing myself to get cards I necessarily don't want, but to maximize value. Love to hear your thoughts on it. Am I alone? Are there cards that you hate out there, products that you hate? Maybe you don't love bank accounts, bonus hunting, for example. But do you suck it up and do it anyways because money? Do you just ignore it anyways? I'd love to get your thoughts on this whole topic and what you do to kind of get through it to maximize your value. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel because, again, we're posting content just like this every single week and right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And, of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com. That is the channel's blog. We have not only the latest news stories, we have bank promotions, perfect time to get started after this, and we have credit card offers. So if you want a business gold card after all this, I think I got one of those too, so go ahead, check it out. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. Talk to you very soon in the next one.